The entertainment scene has been thrown into chaos after a new accusation came to light, one that's left fans of love and hip-hop completely stunned. While many were still trying to make sense of the recent violent attack on Kirk Frost, things took an even wilder turn. Kirk ended up in the hospital after the incident, which initially seemed like a random act of aggression, but now people are starting to think this wasn't just some spur-of-the-moment fight. It may have been a planned move. What's making it even more shocking? A well-known cast member is now being accused of setting the whole thing up. Social media is going wild. Rumors are everywhere, and fans are piecing together whatever hints they can find. According to people close to the situation, this wasn't just a case of being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Apparently, the attack was personal and connected to Kirk's past issues with someone from the show. That's led to even more speculation. Was this about revenge, a message, or something deeper and more twisted? As more details come out, the story is getting darker. And at the center of all of it is a growing theory that the attack wasn't random. It was deliberate. Viewers of love and hip-hop are no strangers to drama, messy relationships, and betrayal. But no one saw this level of violence coming. Kirk Frost, who's been a regular face on the show for years, is now part of one of the show's biggest scandals. At first, people assumed it was just a crazed fan who went too far. But once more information started leaking, everything changed. Now, there's talk that this was all pre-planned, with someone from the show pulling the strings behind the scenes. The question on everyone's mind is simple. Who would go this far? That's when one name popped up: Mendeecees Harris. The allegations came out of nowhere. Known for his rocky past and high-profile marriage to Yandy Smith, Mendeecees had never shown any open hostility toward Kirk. In fact, their relationship always seemed civil, both on and off screen. But once fans started connecting the dots, a theory started to form, and it gained traction fast. Then, things escalated. A leaked hotel surveillance clip hit the internet. The footage showed Kirk in a hotel lobby, walking alone, clearly unaware of what was about to happen. But just before the attack, a blurry figure could be seen in the background. Fans zoomed in, looked at every detail, and began comparing that figure to recent photos and posts by Mendeecees. The walk, the outfit, even a distinctive chain. It all looked a little too familiar. They matched the clothes in the video to something Mendeecees had worn in a recent Instagram photo, and that's when people really started to lose it. While the video was far from solid proof, it definitely got everyone talking. But then came something more intense: leaked text messages. These texts, allegedly between Mendeecees and an unknown person, seemed to suggest the whole thing was planned. One message stood out the most: "Make sure it happens. I don't want any loose ends." The internet exploded. If the messages were real, this wasn't just speculation. It was a setup. Some fans were skeptical, pointing out how easy it is to fake messages these days. Others believed it was the missing puzzle piece. As the debate heated up, an anonymous insider, claiming to be a love and hip-hop producer, added fuel to the fire. According to them, tension had been growing between Kirk and Mendeecees for months, but none of it made it to the screen. The insider explained that Kirk had recently started negotiating a new deal with producers, one that would give him more say in how his story was told and a much bigger check. Meanwhile, Mendeecees allegedly felt like he was being pushed to the background. That alone had created tension, and it kept building, while no one expected it. To turn violent, the insider said there had definitely been conflict off camera. Just when people thought it couldn't get worse, another twist dropped. A voice recording surfaced, just a few seconds long, but enough to stir things up. The voice, which sounded eerily like Mendeecees, could be heard saying, "I don't care what happens to him. Just make sure it's done." If that voice really was Mendeecees, it was practically a confession. But people were divided. Was it really him? Or was someone trying to frame him? The uncertainty only made things messier. While some fans believed he was definitely behind it, others thought he was being set up. Then came something that made everyone even more suspicious. Mendeecees went completely silent. No posts, no comments, no statement. For someone who's usually vocal on social media, his sudden disappearance felt off. Fans took it as a sign. Either he was guilty or didn't know how to defend himself. Late last night, things escalated again. Reports surfaced that police were looking into Mendeecees' possible involvement. Some sources claimed investigators had already started questioning people close to him. Others said he was laying low, avoiding the heat. Once again, fans were split. Some still believed in his innocence, while others were convinced he was just trying to avoid consequences. The fallout didn't just stay online. Behind the scenes, producers of Love and Hip Hop were reportedly scrambling. Should they cut ties with Mendeecees? Should they show it all on TV? Or would they try to brush it under the rug? No one had answers, but it was clear this had turned into one of the show's biggest scandals yet. Then, just when things seemed like they couldn't get any worse, a new revelation came to light. An old associate of Mendeecees, someone who'd supposedly known him for years, came forward anonymously with a shocking claim. They said this wasn't just about business or TV, it was deeply personal. According to them, Mendices had been planning to get back at Kirk for months. What exactly had Kirk done? That part wasn't clear. But theories started flying. Some thought Kirk had messed with one of Mendices' business deals. Others believed it had something to do with Yandy. Some even said Kirk made a private comment about her that Mendices never forgave. Then came another leak. This time, a new angle from the hotel's security footage. It showed that the mysterious figure, who many believed to be Mendices, wasn't alone. Another person, also wearing a hoodie and keeping their face hidden, was just a few feet away. Fans jumped on the new clip immediately, trying to identify the second person. At the same time, more and more questions started coming up. If Mendices really planned the attack, what was his motive? Was it just jealousy or issues over TV deals? Or was there something deeper going on? And if he didn't do it, then who was trying to frame him? Could someone be using this entire situation to ruin him? The internet couldn't agree. Some people still believed he was innocent and thought it was all one big misunderstanding. Others were sure he was guilty and were just waiting for solid proof. But no matter what side you were on, it was obvious that the drama wasn't close to being over. Then, just as things were calming down, something new came out that changed everything. A major gossip blog posted an exclusive story that included what they called the most damning piece of evidence yet, a leaked audio recording. The person who leaked it didn't reveal their identity, but they claimed this audio would finally prove Mendices was involved in the attack on Kirk Frost. The clip was uploaded late at night, and within minutes it had gone viral. Fans rushed to hear it, analyzing every word and background sound. It wasn't the clearest recording, but it was enough to stir up a storm. Two men were heard whispering, talking about something that sounded like a planned confrontation. "You sure this is the right move?" one asked, clearly unsure. "It has to be done," the other replied. "He crossed the line." Many thought that second voice sounded a lot like Mendices. The speech pattern, the tone, it all felt familiar to fans. But there was one major issue. Kirk's name wasn't mentioned at all. Nothing in the clip directly said who they were talking about. It was vague, which made it open to interpretation. Some people thought it was proof of guilt, while others said it could mean anything. Yandy, who had been trying to calm the situation, spoke out again online. This time, she sounded even more upset. "This is getting out of hand," she said. "People are faking audio just to ruin Mendices' name. I don't know what people think this is, but we're not playing these games." But by then, the damage had already been done. The clip had racked up millions of views, and many had already made up their minds. Even some of Mendices' supporters were starting to question things. The fact that he hadn't come out and said anything made it worse. Why wasn't he defending himself? Why was he so quiet? Meanwhile, Kirk Frost had just been released from the hospital. But instead of resting, he headed straight to a private meeting with the producers of Love and Hip Hop. Sources said he was furious, not just about the attack, but also about how everything was being handled. He felt like the show was letting the chaos get out of control just for better ratings. Rumors began to swirl that Kirk was thinking about quitting the show for good. After everything that happened, he didn't want to be part of a show that allowed things to go that far, but the producers weren't ready to lose him. Insiders claimed they offered him a big deal to stay, one that included a full storyline about his recovery, a chance to tell his side, and promises to take serious steps against whoever attacked him. Then something unexpected happened. A hotel security guard came forward, saying he saw Mendices arrive after the attack. He described him as panicked, pacing the lobby and making multiple phone calls. While the guard couldn't hear the conversation, Mendices' body language stood out. This new info split the internet. Some said it cleared Mendices. Maybe he rushed to the scene after hearing about the incident. Others said it sounded too convenient, like he was covering his tracks. Then TMZ dropped a bombshell. Police were now looking at Mendices as a person of interest. He wasn't a suspect yet, but it was enough to send fans into a frenzy. Yandy faced massive backlash but stood firm. "Loyalty isn't just a word, it's a way of life," she wrote. Then Kirk Frost posted a cryptic message. "I know exactly who did this, and they know I know." People lost it. Was he calling out Mendices? Leaked text messages between unknown people added more fire. "Everything's set. Just make sure it looks random." Though nothing confirmed their link to Mendices, speculation exploded. Rasheeda finally broke her silence. "He almost died. People need to stop with the lies." She didn't clear or accuse Mendices. She just defended her husband's name. Then, rumors about hotel surveillance footage spread, supposedly showing Mendices entering a staff-only area right after the attack. That footage hasn't surfaced, but it only deepened the mystery. To make things worse, an old clip from Love and Hip Hop resurfaced where Mendices talked about handling people who crossed the line. It had nothing to do with this, but fans saw it as proof of a violent mindset. Now, with no official word from Mendices, the internet waits. Either he clears his name, or this scandal sticks for good.